Hey guys, it's Jenny Garden Training Systems, another episode of Dungeon Talks. Today we are under the Barbell with the man himself as usual, Mr. Ryan Phillip. And today we're not doing the best. We tired.
Yes, good.
We,
So we're tired today. Yes,
yeah.
I was going to say that to myself. Good, boy.
we tired today. Ryan had a full day of programming, coaching, fixing people, the whole 9 yards. I had some other personal commitments as well as training, but we're recording at what, like 8:30 in the night,
Yeah,
and
the consistency.
yeah, we're trying to be consistent. Anyway, so on the topic of tiredness, let's talk about fatigue, right? Um, Specifically neuromuscular fatigue. So we're accustomed to obviously training, and with training comes the breakdown of muscle fibers, right? And that would contribute to soreness as well as our inability to produce force, right? Optimally. And that can manifest itself as fatigue, right? But the other side to that is the neurological side of it, where there could be fatigue of the nervous system. Now, when it comes to lift, I'll go into the process of how that happens. But when it comes to lifters, could you talk about how that affects their performance?
Yeah, well, the fatigue is thrown around like a very strange generalized term, boy, because it has everything to do with the nervous system. All right. Fatigue is what we had to achieve
Mm-hmm.
in any training cycle. This is strength and conditioning specific for powerlifting or barbell sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and fatigue is going to set in at some point. And what the whole premise is with programming is putting together a system that best manages fatigue, that best suits the goal at the specific time
Mm-hmm.
for the athlete,
Mm-hmm.
right? And boy, this is a dread topic to talk when tired, but
Yeah,
we still go and
this
talk.
authentic
all right?
and real. There we go.
Real talks, for no pre-recorded.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Just
This is
dropping
this.
it, right?
Yeah.
So the end of all the training cycles, you're going to get fatigued. And I mean, how well that the athlete responds to it. All right, there are going to be a lot of factors that need to take into place. A lot of personalized structures.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and yes, we want to be fatigued at the end of the day.
So let me get into the actual mechanism by which at least on the neurological side, how that happens, right? So in order for a muscle to contract, there needs to be a signal that's sent. That signal is sent from the neurons, right? Now, where the neurons and the when the neurons and the muscles meet, it's called the neuromuscular junction. In that junction, acetylcholine is released. That's a neurotransmitter. Once that transmitter is released, it causes a bunch of calcium to be released from the sarcoplasmic reticulum, which is part of the muscle cell itself, and that causes actual muscular contractions between the troponin, myosin, and all of those things. I'll spare the details. But essentially, signal sent from the neuron releases neurotransmitters, interacts with the muscle releases calcium, causes a contraction. Now, where does the fatigue mechanism come in? Acetylcholine is not infinite, right? And the other thing is, the more acetylcholine released is the stronger the muscle contraction. So the amount of acetylcholine released, if I'm doing this compared to this, is very different. There was more acetylcholine released on the second repetition, which would mean that if I do this repeatedly, I would fatigue faster as compared to doing this, right? Now, practically for force production, what that would mean is that if I am to squat 200 pounds compared to 400 pounds, the load, the fatigue experience on the 400 pound, because of the neurological component, would be a lot harder. And that affects training. So, from the coaching side of you, Ryan, how would you help mitigate these factors or attenuate these factors?
Okay, well, that means we have to scrap the entire introduction where fatigue or what I was explaining, because those things we now could talk about that because that was a brilliant explanation
We
of
can still follow with it.
muscular fatigue. All right, and if we're looking at it from that sense, yes, the system is going to run out of the ability to create
Mm-hmm.
force,
Mm-hmm.
action potential, to
Mm-hmm.
create that spark.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and this is where periodization and making sure that the athlete understands the significance of warming up appropriately
Yes.
with appropriate loads because it is not an infinite source of acetylcholine
Yes.
to begin with. You
Yes.
know, you could kind of get away with using pre-workouts that specifically have a supplemental boost, and we know the action of caffeine
Mm-hmm.
blocking the acetylcholine esterase, that enzyme that breaks down acetylcholine.
Mm-hmm.
So that is more abundant what you already have, and then you put in more on top
On
of
top
that
of it, yeah.
with the pre-workout. These things can help the session.
Mm-hmm.
All
But
right,
you need to go back afterwards.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to put it back in afterward. But let's go for the session itself and mitigating fatigue so the session can actually be successful.
Yeah.
It'll be along those lines. The structure is very important.
Yeah.
All right. Let's say the athlete has 80% to do for 3 sets of 3. All right. That is going to take a lot, provided that the athlete is operating off of their true 1 rep maximum. And not even that. Maybe it is a slightly reduced training maximum of 5% on their true max to preserve the quality. That's another method that coaches could use.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Especially with a lot of new athletes that you want to get some clean training sessions under their belt.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But you definitely can't go from 0 to 80%.
Yeah.
All right. Let's say you start with the bar that is sub maximum. All right, and you find your pattern, and then you work 50%. Then you go maybe 65, then 75, and then 80.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The amount of repetitions that you do is going to affect your ability to execute the work for the day.
Yes.
Because I could use an example with some heavyweights and myself, right? You could feel it by the time you get to 3 plays. All right, you could feel it draining, the ability to drive, the ability to create force. It gets,
Yeah, and you know
feel it
something.
zapping.
Yes, and
You know?
there is the acetylcholine and the neurological side of it is a factor in terms of the actual depletion of the neurotransmitters, but another part of it is intent as well. So what happens is
What intent would use acetylcholine?
yeah, but
as
yeah,
well.
yeah, but yes, yeah,
You know?
but like I say that to say that what happens is if we're somebody is, let's say, preparing for like a 600-pound squat, right? And they have 135 on the bar. They're just, some people will just squat the amount, move 135 as 135, move to 25, and then the point is like
that's going to waste it. That's
exactly
going to waste it.
because because you are not priming your nervous system for the force production that you are actually looking for.
On the day, yeah.
Or at that particular point in time. So when you actually start to push the marker, you'd find, oh, ways where I'm feeling tired, I don't have it in me today. Like, why this weight feeling so heavy? It's because you didn't prime it from the very beginning. So there's
And you would have exhausted
And you would
the acetylcholine as well.
Yes.
And if it is you came into the session without the cofactors that aid acetylcholine, your electrolytes,
Yep.
I think we have, did we
we
speak
would have,
about that
I
already?
think
Just briefly.
we spoke about hydration with cutting and that kind of stuff.
That kind of thing, but I mean, that's going to be a whole other episode
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
if it is you don't have the cofactors, you know, your calciums, you know, all of that stuff being already there, waiting for that signal, I mean, you're going to be putting yourself in a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
You know?
And the other thing too, athletes is protein not gonna fix this one. Like while protein is important for the recovery of the recovery in sports and whatever, when it comes to the replacement of the actual neurotransmitters, just whey protein not going to fix it. you need to you need to have other things for that, and we're not gonna divulge too much information.
Protein as a fuel source. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we don't touch on these things, but I think we need to have more of these talks where we actually educate in a general sense. All right. Yes, we would have shined the lights on issues and that type of thing. All right. But to actually give like a guideline for athletes or anybody to follow. All right. We'll have to do some episodes like that.
Yeah, 100%.
So that we could like put a hey, click on this link right here.
Yeah.
And go on and look at that, and you'd kind of be able to follow and understand
Yeah.
what we're talking about. All right, because this is a very big topic. Because this will bring in all of the concepts of max effort work, speed work. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Repetition work. All right, and this nervous system creating force production, how the body actually function, physiology. Let's call it physiology.
Yeah.
All right, that's a big thing. I mean, we could have a whole series on
100%.
certain markers.
Yeah.
Of physiology for performance.
For performance.
All right.
And now to interject, I wanna talk about the goal of this podcast, right? The goal of this podcast is to have, how do I say this? To have a one-stop shop, basically, where coaches, athletes, and sports admin could all converse and help the level of sport rise in Trinidad and Tobago, and really just benefit the next generation coming up. I believe that we are all specialists within our own realms, but we don't know what we don't know. And we could all learn from each other, and I actually want to add as much value as I possibly can. So I do value. I'm not a people pleaser. We are not here to please anybody, but we genuinely value the interactions that we would have, so that we could know how to best serve the people, right? But yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't know everything.
No.
All right, and I mean, I am always in a constant quest for more knowledge. All right, because you could have knowledge and still not be able to apply it.
Correct.
The more people you have on this that show their backgrounds and expertise, you would kind of get more understanding of, hey, I could take that and manipulate it to suit what I actually do.
Yeah.
All right. You have to continuously learn.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Or else the people that you mentor, they are not going to see past the limit of your knowledge.
That's actually something else that like I want to actually get into with you is coaching philosophies, right? Old school coaches, there are the coaches who's like, well, I used to do this when I was an athlete, so there's what we doing, right? And sometimes coaches are so out of touch with the progress that has happened since they have played, or they would have done research when they were younger, when they were just becoming certified, but they haven't kept up with the new knowledge, and as they're affecting their athletes as a result of it, right? It happens with scientists as well, like in the realm of, I'm a sports scientist, so I know that there are some people who, yes, they have the qualifications and whatnot, but their knowledge, their knowledge based on the topic is so far gone and out of touch. And sometimes, because of their age, they refuse to, and the younger people, the younger ones that are coming up, they're just looking down at them. How important is it for a coach to keep up? Keep
well, you have to keep up. If it is you keep that error, let's call it an error, all right, and you don't look at what is happening in the now, all right, and you get 20 athletes, and all 20 of them athletes running the same system that you would have run back in the day, and you cannot chop it up and make it specific for the athlete, because I understand generalization. When the time to use it, all right. you have to be able to adapt to changes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There's no one set way to do something, and there's always a scenario where what you're doing not making sense, and it's going to be a choice whether you're going to keep forcing that on somebody or actually making a change. All right, and then, oh, God forbid you run into somebody who has a brain that thinks for themselves to question, hey, you, why it is we doing this? Because we have not seen any change or any kind of result, right?
I have a
What?
question for you.
Yeah, good.
How long should an athlete trust the process?
Oh, yeah, well, the coach is not going to be able to figure you out. To me, it's going to take at least 3 to 6 months to get the ball rolling. All right, what you give initially, that's your searching system.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that can be generalized, but then you will see very quickly what the person is going to, what they're going to be responsive to. You're going to see that quickly. All right, and you're going to have to pay attention as well. All right. So at least 6 months for to develop a clear direction in the earlies, and it depends on the level of the person that's coming to you, whether they are novice, intermediate, or advanced.
So would it take longer for the more so if somebody's a beginner, would it take longer or would it be shorter?
Oh, well, the beginners tend to respond to almost anything that you give. It will take.
Assuming they have good technique and what
Well, but it's your duty as a coach.
yes, 100%.
That
agree.
is what
Yes.
coaching you
Yeah.
need to bring. You need to teach the skill.
Coaching is not just a piece of paper.
It's not, right. You need to be able to teach, and if it is you cannot teach, whether it's in person, whether it's online is easy now. We can do what we're doing right now. Set up your camera, put on your Bluetooth headphones, and let's go through the movement step by step.
Yeah.
All right, and I am the expert that you're coming to.
Yeah.
So I should be able to provide that service.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Obviously, that's not going to be as good as working face to face, but it's still good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Once you are the real deal.
Yeah.
Right. So the advanced athletes, I find, it will take about 3 months. It will take 3 months, especially if you get somebody coming to you strong, unless they come with something that has been outrageous before, right? And I mean, like some whatever they were doing, they're doing that for 10, 12 years. And it worked to them up to this point, and then they stop seeing gains from it. Whatever your introductory system is, should be something that could really start screening from the get-go. All right, and then seeing how they develop through a phase of, maybe base building. I cannot go into detail here.
Yeah. I know. I know. I know.
Base building, then development of strength, and then reaping the rewards from developing that strength and seeing how they respond to that end. How they respond to the end of it, right? Then you'll be like, okay, so we've seen enough. This is what we have to do moving forward. All right, make it something that is very phase specific and tailored to them, because you will get enough data for an advanced athlete.
Mm-hmm.
3 months, that's real time.
Yeah.
All right, so let's say that these novice people, all right, they're going to continue making gains once the system is structured. The system can be decent. All right, they're going to make gains, right? So let's say a year.
Mm-hmm.
A year, maybe 2 is where they begin to kind of flatline with whatever you'd have been giving them, because you don't just change programs every month.
Yeah.
It has to be something that is there long enough, all right, for you to really see and understand, all right, hey, I can take this, I will have to cancel out this, I can plug in this. This has to be something that is, a staple for this particular athlete, right? And that's how you start to learn that.
I I I believe that you are the best powerlifting coach in the country, and the reason I say that is how well rounded you are in terms of the different spheres of performance and how you're able to, your knowledge on it and how you're able to actually manipulate the factors. Forget success of athletes and whatever on the day. I just believe as a coach fundamentally you are the best in the country, and I don't just say that because I've worked with them for some time. Genuinely, in my opinion, from based on what I have seen in terms of how his athletes move compared to other athletes, in terms of um, the nutritional advice being discussed that I'm privy to behind closed doors, in terms of your rehabilitation, that kind of thing. Um, what can coaches do to raise their level of from what you see in the country? How can
All
coaches
right,
raise
all
their
right.
level?
Well, I don't like to be hearing things like that, you know. But
Yeah.
I do understand it is not for me to say I am the best.
I sorry,
All right.
I mean no disrespect. I'll say
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I mean no disrespect at all to anybody, to any
Man,
coaches or any.
if people feel disrespected by free speech, man, that is them, boy. But
Yeah.
then they watching this thing to get a gauge of personalities as well, right? So we just saying, well, I'm gonna just say, hey, that stuff doesn't matter to me because it is a 100% passion, all right, and that is something to be determined when my time comes to an end on this plane of existence. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because if it is you start walking around with that type of mentality, the quality will drop, and that's what I have seen. I don't need to call any names, but this is something that you tend to see when people get swell-headed.
Mhm.
It goes down. All right, and that's for me to be able to deliver the best service to anyone. All right, I tend to stay away from those type of praises and just have the relationships with the people that I work with,
Mhm.
you know, and let the masses see for
Deeds to
themselves.
themselves.
You know, the only thing that I will say to any coach: pay attention to your athlete and be able to apply whatever knowledge that you have to whatever scenario that is in front of you, because it is not a one size fits all system. All right. A lot of the knowledge that I have, the way that I run my systems, all right, there's nothing new under the sun. There's a whole bunch of tools that you have
Mm-hmm.
that you have to know. I'm going to use that for this obstacle that I have to face in front of me here,
Mm-hmm.
and carve out a way for X athlete to get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And it is a combination of many systems.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And it's tweaked based on the athlete's needs. So the biggest thing is pay attention. All right. I spend a hell of a long time thinking about how I am going to take an athlete forward, all right, through drafting old school. I'm not going to be
Yeah.
drafting on no online
Yeah.
or
Man
on
have
no
man have
computer.
copybooks.
It's no, it's a big Bible, right?
Yeah, man have copybooks.
Once
Yeah.
one book is done, it's the next one, and every
Yeah.
single system, every single program is done by hand. So
Literally.
that takes at least, well, it takes time,
It
man.
takes a lot of time.
Let's
Yeah.
use Caleb for example,
Mm.
Mr. Fake Muscles. Drafting his system is one of the hardest things that I have to do right now because of the level of strength that he has developed over the years. All right, it used to be more or less, you know, he was younger, right, lighter, right, not creating as much damage
Yeah.
as he's creating now. All right, and now it is, if I make a mistake by week one, day one, the program is destroyed.
Done. Yeah.
I cannot make a mistake with load prescription. I cannot make a mistake with frequency.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot make a mistake with how I structure the days, right?
All factors that you have to consider for it to be
because
successful. Yeah.
if I slip
In any of them.
in any of them,
Yeah.
that was disaster.
Yeah.
That can hurt him. I cannot ask him to badmine anything either,
Mm-hmm.
or else that is the end of Caleb's performance.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He squats well over 700, deadlifts well over 700,
Mm-hmm.
and his bench is trending upward as well.
Yeah.
All right, that's over 400 now.
Yeah.
Right, and now he is 25. He's going to be, I think he's going to be 26 now.
Mm.
And he is getting taller. So there's more mass on his frame now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and he has more distance
To travel.
move.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's,
So more muscle damage.
it's so many variables.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I cannot put in, hey, take a 5x5 on here, boy.
And
Volume is everything.
hold on.
You know?
And this is why AI
Oh.
cannot replace coach, because yes, AI could give you sets and rep schemes, right? But AI, at least right now, even right now, AI will never be able to fully account for factors like your leverages. It can't fully account for your years of training, because you could say you have 5 years of training, but 5 years of training doing what? What style of training? How were you built? There's all of these factors that AI cannot account for. You use AI as a tool and not your starting spot.
Correct. AI is going to organize my notes for me. I mean, because I mean, if you ask it to do a program for you, it's going to do a program. Right?
Yes.
And that's what a lot of people just, they can, and there's nothing wrong with that. Go and do that. Get yourself up to a standard. If it is you want more, direct, specific coaching to go to whatever level, all right, you come and get the human eye.
Yeah.
That type of expertise. I have no problem with that, by all means. But that is going to give you generalized programming. If a coach does a generalized program, there's going to be a set amount of guidelines attached to that program, or there should be guidelines attached to the program as to how to regulate. Because, come on, I mean, you cannot just throw a program out there and have people say, yeah, well, 6 months ago I used to lift this weight. I go and use that number, and then I'm going to use this generalized percentage linear program, and I'm looking to get success with that. No, man, you're going to die. That's gonna. I don't even think you're going to even get the top set or the main working set that you have to do for the day. You ain't going to get there. So yeah, it's tools. It's using tools, man. And the tool is only as good as the
user. Yeah.
So let people use the AI and thing, man. I mean, it's still. I find AI separating the sheep from the goat.
Yeah.
I think
100%
is. And it's making a lot of people make some very foolish decisions with their training. Oh, mass production is prevalent now.
There's also that, yeah.
All right, so you have a lot of Toyotas. Toyotas are good cars, I mean, but they're on the belt.
Yeah.
On the belt, and you're getting less and less of the Bugattis and the Rolls Royce, the handmade stuff that takes months to build, right?
And you could also you could tell when you see a Bugatti, it's like that's a Bugatti. When you see a Corolla, it's like whatever.
Got another one.
Like, another one. Exactly.
Got another one.
Yeah.
All right, but they're making money though, man, because
that's actually something that we'd actually talk about in another one. But I feel like this could just be my experiences or our experiences, but where performance based coaching is concerned, there seems to be there's less money involved as compared to like physique or non-performance. That might just be my opinion or my experiences. But I feel like there's more money in the aesthetic side of the industry more than there is in the performance side of it.
Yeah, but now this performance side, you have some physiques that looking good, man.
Yeah.
Both on the male and
On
female
female
side
side.
of things,
Yeah.
you know, and I mean, gone are the days now where you're just looking strong. No, people looking strong and actually
Actually strong.
strong now, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, nothing against the physique thing. If that's where a lot of money is, I mean, they have their niche.
Their
We
niche,
have
we have ours.
our
Yeah.
niche. All right. But our niche is the baseline on the foundation of almost every single
Every sport,
sport,
more or less. Yeah.
which is strength.
Strength
I
and
mean, you
conditioning.
have to go get strong with one of this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, whether it's a powerlifting specific
Or
movement
weightlifting or
or
whatever.
you
Yep.
have to use that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's still the foundation of everything.
Yeah.
All right. People say this is the easiest sport to do. I don't think so. I think this sport deserves its own respect, just as every other sport. You say this is not skill based. Okay, go on squat now. I dare you to actually get stronger than the average squat for your weight class, and tell me if it is you could do that without skill and technique. All right. The footballers have their skill, the cricketers have their skill, the swimmers have their skill. It's all specific to the sport.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a sport that deserves respect, and with the powerlifters on the rise right now, um, it's starting to the world. I think the world does respect powerlifting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we should be begging for any kind of spotlight, right? Every big athlete has to walk through a gym. They go
True.
walk in a gym and say, "A man squatting 800 pounds," and not be impressed by that.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Or a girl squatting a little for 200 kilos, all right? And you're not mind blown by that.
Yeah.
Come on. You're going to be like, I want to
I want to
do that,
Yeah.
all right?
Yeah.
And, well, this is an avenue where even athletes like that who would have been from other sports and disciplines, when their time is done, they can filter into this. You know, they have a dread work capacity depending
Mhm.
on the sport that they came from. All right.
And we'll talk about,
of course. You
we'll
know.
talk about that in future episodes. But for now,
Yeah.
I think we gave them quite a bit, given that we were tired and we
Yeah,
spoke a lot. It was authentic. So
I feel like getting energized now.
yeah,
That it's
I
it's,
know
it's,
the
it's
end.
starting to hone in on some specific things.
Yeah.
All right. We started with with the muscular fatigue, and you might have to look at some takes on that.
Yeah,
right?
we'll
Because,
I'll think. But I'll
you explained it beautifully, so you will. It's definitely going to make them see
My
your
brain
level
and
of
my
intellect. All right, because Jaden has done years in Tampa University, a lot of hands-on experience with athletes of every discipline. All right, and his solid foundation in strength training has helped him connect, and he's been able to help sports like golf,
Mhm.
soccer,
Mhm.
football, American football, down here.
Yeah.
They'll say that's not football, but yeah, it's football over there. All
Yeah.
right, track and field, what else? There's some, track and field is all them long
All of them.
jump.
Yeah.
And they're actually being able to use the scientific tools to measure, force production, to measure speed and velocity, to analyze that type of data and actually implement it into programming for athletes so your progress is consistent. All right. He's a brain there. He has rubbed shoulders with some of the best minds in strength and conditioning. All right, not powerlifting, strength and conditioning.
Strength
The
and
people on them
conditioning
that
as a-
actually write the book.
Yeah, literally
All
people.
right, and
Anyone stuff.
being a part of studies and stuff and research. All right, I think your name is on one of those papers.
My name is on several papers.
All right, so, all right, you are a figure of authority here, and our local community as well. You will earn the respect. You know how Trinidad is.
Yeah.
All right. You have done well in strength training, right? And you are still training. You've deadlifted 650. You squatted almost
500.
500,
Yeah.
and we benched
315.
315.
Yeah.
All right, and all of that while going to school through that rigorous program. All right.
All his coaching.
Yeah, and I mean that's something that had to be tailored for
Yeah.
those stresses that he would have had. All right, and then being away from home and whatnot too. He did all of that by himself. So, he in his own right can stand up here and tell you, hey, this is what it is. All right, and if you don't listen, well,
And
well, no, that's what we say. Well, I mean, we're just going to continue making content and talking,
Yeah, we are, and I think thank you for that, by the way. As much as all of those things are true, I am still just a man, and I know that I don't know it all, which is actually part of the reason for this. I genuinely want to learn, and actually add, clean, and then give as much as I can. Um, so when you see me in person, don't just say hi. I'm a regular person. I'm normal. I'll talk to any and everybody. And yeah, so let's interact with me, comment, share, subscribe, most important, and let's just take this thing to the next level. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been another episode of Under the Barbell with Mr. Ryan Phillip on Dungeon Talks, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time.